Hello and welcome to the first ever FPL Tom Q&A stream. We're going to try one of these. We're going to see how it goes. I can see we have a few people in the YouTube chat as well. We are doing a dual stream as always with kind of these solo streams. We're on YouTube, we're on TikTok as well. So if you do have any questions throughout the stream, do get them in as we will try to answer as many as possible ahead of tomorrow's deadline at 11 o'clock. I also will be doing a deadline stream here on YouTube and on TikTok as well. So if you want to be part of that tomorrow, 9 o'clock up until around probably like 10 past 11. I've got stuff to do in the kind of the afternoon, but yeah, I'll be around for that. Plenty of stuff to get involved with, guys, as well as always on the channel or on the TikTok as well. If you could do us a favor right at the start of both of these streams, if you want to just hit that like button for us and, oh well, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff as well. But the like is the main one. If you like it, it pushes it out to more people. We can get some more questions in and yeah, just get stuff flowing. I've got stuff to talk about as well in today's stream. But like I said, if you do have any questions throughout the stream that you want to ask, just go for it. That's what this stream is for. We're here to answer every single one of your FPL kind of dilemmas that you might have going into game week 5. It's been a while. Obviously, we've had the international break. I can see some questions are starting to flow in already. Up the Stags. Let's go, baby. Yeah, we've got questions coming in. This stream is mainly going to be about FPL. For people just joining the TikTok stream, we are going to be talking about FPL Game Week 5 deadline. I'm going to be doing a deadline stream tomorrow, but I thought we'd do a little Q&A stream on a Friday night, see if we can get some questions. I'm going to be live for like, I don't know, we'll say half an hour to start. If it kind of flows and goes quite well, then you know what, we'll keep it going. We'll go for a little bit longer as well. But yeah, if you have any questions about your FPL team, do get them in and we will try to answer as many as possible. We have Fatality in the YouTube chat asking, would I do Foden to Son? Probably not. I don't think I would recommend that, to be honest. I think you've already said that you have Maddison as well. I think as long as you have one Spurs attacker going into that game week, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, to be honest. So I think that'll be fine, like, as is, to be honest. Foden as well, I can see starting to get more minutes kind of with potential injuries to kind of the Man City players as well, like Grealish. The only thing to consider is that Champions League football is going to be coming back this week, so you might have a few issues with potential minutes risk. Son is playing in the number 9 as well. We actually have a little data graph here, which I went through in one of my preview videos and on one of my streams as well earlier this week, the preview stream. Is Son's kind of data switches from him playing on the left-hand side to the striker position. As you can see as well, there's a hell of a lot more data happening when he is taking up this striker position. Just one game as well. 5 shots, more in the box, more kind of on target as well than when he was playing on the left. You do lose that assist potential, but I think his goal potential is just far better, to be honest. A few people arriving in the TikTok chat as well. Hello, if you want to kind of ask any questions about your FPL team, do get them in. If you want to come over to the YouTube channel as well, that would be absolutely amazing. It's a little bit easier for me to read the chat there as well, so come over to that as well. But yeah, make sure to get your questions in about your FPL teams and we will try and run through as many as possible. But yeah, I definitely think with Son playing in this striker position, he has got really high potential for kind of mass upside, to be honest. He's one of those players who is just a naturally great gifted finisher, and I think with him playing in the striker position, we are going to see him bag a lot more goals. My only concern is, will he give Richarlison one more chance? I don't think he will, but with it being a lesser opponent, is he going to maybe give Richarlison a little bit of a run out, see how he gets on during that period? That is a question that you have to ask, but I think Son's going to play in that striker position. Solomon on the left, Kulusevski on the right, and Maddison down the middle, to be honest. Archie's asked me, what are my thoughts on Alisson in goal? Don't hate it. Do not hate it. I think he's perfectly fine, to be honest, to have in goal. In the long term, I don't really like going for these expensive goalkeepers, and the Liverpool defence hasn't been great. They also don't have a great record at Molineux. They don't kind of win convincingly there. So maybe a little bit of a risk. You're going against Gandhi as well with the half-12 kickoff, so could be a little bit of an issue. Apparently Mansfield are losing tomorrow. Don't think so, pal. do not think so, mate. We're going to absolutely walk it. Like, we're just quality. Colchester away. It's in the bag. In the bag. Scottish Baguette. People are really underrating Leno. Now, this is the thing, right? I spoke about this in one of my videos earlier this week. And it is the goalkeeper situation. Now, Leno was one of the players that I did recommend potentially avoiding going for in this game week. As you can see, the XG conceded 11.2, which is absolutely ridiculously high. Like, I would be just looking to avoid that, to be honest. 19 points so far this season, but 12 of those came against Everton, where he was peppered. He had to make 9 saves and pick up the bonus points. So I don't think he is a sustainable point scorer in terms of clean sheets. He's going to have some holes throughout the kind of the period of time, but I just wouldn't be going for him like as a long-term option. Flecken or Martinez or Nick Pope are my preferred options for goalkeepers, to be honest. If maybe you're looking for a Pickford replacement, those would be my top ones. Martinez, Flecken or Pope. Vicario is apparently a goat in the TikTok chat as well. I think he's a decent pick, but a little bit too expensive for me. I think you just go for a Doji. I think you just would. Who is my goalkeeper? I'm a little bit in the kind of mud with my goalkeeper situation. I have Johnson or Turner. Turner's wife gave birth to a child yesterday, so that's a little bit messy. Looks like he might have lost his place as first team goalkeeper as well. Same with Johnson. So, you know, we're in a good position. I'm hoping I can have this week, and then for my team kind of looking at it, I think I'm going to go with Nick Pope. The Newcastle fixtures after game week 6 are absolutely amazing. I'm looking to wildcard in 9 or 10, so that's going to be my recommendation. FPL Nico, if you're looking for some suggestions as well, Martinez, Flecken, Areola, Pope would probably be my best ones, to be honest. But yeah. He does have Luton next. Scottish Baguette, but like, are you forgetting what season it is? Like, it's Carlton Morris season. It is Carlton Morris season. Like, you can't underestimate that man's ability, to be honest. Carlton Morris is just a GOAT, an absolute MVP. He's probably going to be my transfer this week. Come to the stream tomorrow, the deadline stream, to find out if he is going to be my number 1 pick. I think he will be. But yeah, just come to the stream. Will Alvarez start? He was back in training yesterday, which was extremely quick. If you've been looking at the press conferences today, like, a lot of South American players have kind of been a little bit late in kind of getting back. But Alvarez was back yesterday in training, so I definitely think he's going to start. Whether or not his minutes are now going to start to diminish with Champions League starting this week, that could be a potential option. But I definitely think he starts this week. He's been extremely good as well. Played 490 minutes as well. Did well on international duty. So I think with him being back quite early as well from international duty, I think he should start tomorrow. Is it tomorrow City play? I think it is. I think City start tomorrow. But yeah, I think he starts. I do think he starts. Someone else in the TikTok chat has got Turner as well. Yeah, we went the wrong way. We probably should have gone Areola, but we went with Turner. It nearly worked. Thoughts on Son for tomorrow? I think he is a really good option. I definitely think you need at least one Spurs attacker. I wouldn't necessarily be looking to go for the double up in terms of Spurs attackers, so going Maddison and Son, but I definitely think if you've got a player like, you know, that you want to remove, maybe you've got a Rashford and you're thinking Son looks quite good. That's the transfer I'd be making this week if I had Rashford. But yeah, I really rate him in the forward position. The data sets have massively improved. His shots in the box as well. So I think Son would be a player. I don't think I'd captain him, but I definitely think I'd be looking to consider him. I think if you've got Porro and Maddison already, I would be a little bit hesitant, especially with their game week 6 and 7 fixtures being a little bit more tricky. So I'd probably say just stick with Porro and Maddison. Who are your other midfielders? And that might maybe paint a better picture for me as well. Skiddy Panties asks, what do I think of Isak? I like Isak. He was initially one of my potential replacements for Nicholas Jackson next week. Still might happen. That still might be my transfer if Nicholas Jackson again absolutely just stinks it up, to be honest. I definitely think with Newcastle's fixtures turning good in game week 6, I definitely think you should start to look to kind of build a watch list of Newcastle players, to be honest. My only concern is he's been coming off in around the 60, 65th, 70th minute mark. So with Champions League starting this week, you've also got the fact that Callum Wilson's just signed a new contract as well at the club. So, you know, is he going to be rewarded with the odd start there and there? We saw it last season, a little bit of rotation in and out of that team. So I'd probably say I like Isak as a player, but his potential minutes, they're a little bit of a risk for me at this moment. Romero or Gusto? See, the thing is, why would you go for Romero over like a Doji or Porro? I think they have higher upside in the long term. I know like Romero's like done extremely well, one of the highest scoring players at the moment, but he's a centre back, you know, and it's like the points aren't kind of guaranteed every single week for him. So I'd probably say I'd rather look at someone like Porro or a Doji. They've got more attacking potential. They play this inverted wing-back role, which really, really suits them. So, yeah, that's what I'd rather do. Would you consider Mbeumo to Andreas as a punt? No. Keep Mbeumo. Like, why are you taking Mbeumo out? The fixtures for Brentford in the long kind of run aren't too bad. He's one of those players as well who's playing a lot of minutes on penalties as well and has absolutely started the season on fire. So no, would not be taking a punt, especially for a player like Andreas. Fulham haven't looked impressive as well. They've got Raul Jimenez up front, who's just he's not the same player as he a couple of years ago. Opinions on Gabby Jesus? I really like Gabby Jesus as a potential option. I just don't think the Arsenal fixtures are as good as they could be. I'm just going to load them up, so I'm definitely not chatting absolute wham. Everton, Tottenham, Bournemouth, City, Chelsea, Sheffield United, Newcastle. It's kind of like a little bit bitty, and I think I'd rather potentially go for like... I guess you could go with him, but it's one of them. It is one of them. They did look so much better when he came on in the United game. He is such a good player. It's a difficult one, to be honest, because I think realistically you want Watkins for game week 8 onwards. So that's potentially what you could do. You could then have Everton, Tottenham and Bournemouth as the three kind of fixtures. Move him out for the City and Chelsea games as well. So that could be a potential option. But yeah. Foden or Mbeumo. I've got Haaland and Alvarez already. I'd go Mbeumo then. If you've already got them two, then get Mbeumo. On penalties, 90-minute man. Absolutely killing it. At the start of this season as well. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. I will try to answer as many as possible while we are live. We do have a deadline stream as well tomorrow from 9 till 11-ish when the deadline is. So if you want to come to that, yeah, come to that tomorrow morning. But yeah, this is kind of like the warm-up. Get me back in the rhythm. We had an international break, but now we're back. Opinions on Wycombe Wanderers. I don't really have any. I know they have an ex-Mansfield player, Ryan Tafazoli. I think he still plays for Wycombe. I think he does. But yeah, I really like Ryan Tafazoli as a player if he's still there. So props to Wycombe, I guess. Trippier or Chilwell? What do you think? I'm on a wild card. Now, the thing is, Newcastle's fixtures are really good, but Trippier's data sets have just been dismal. Like, if you look at it in terms of what he's actually been creating, it's very minimal. It is very minimal, and I don't know whether or not he's justifying his price point to me. So maybe you could look for a cheaper option, Botman, potentially. Or you potentially could go for someone like Shaw, who had the highest XG last season. I just think Trippier's... Like, the data there has just been dismal. With Champions League football as well, we might see a little bit of rotation within that Newcastle side. So, I'm not a fan of Trippier at the moment, to be honest. Am I going to Colchester tomorrow? No, we are not going to Colchester tomorrow. I'm streaming instead. So, you know, doing great things. So, if you want to come along to tomorrow's stream, do that. We'll be live on TikTok and on YouTube as well. If you are on TikTok, the best thing that you can do for tomorrow's stream is come over to YouTube. You get to see all the fancy like graphics, all that cool stuff as well. I can answer your questions a little bit easier, as sometimes it does like fly through on the TikTok chat. So it's a little bit easier to answer them on the YouTube chat. So if you want to come over now, subscribe to the channel, get your questions in there. I can answer them just that little bit easier. I've got Leno, Adoji, and there we go. That one's gone. Do I normally go to Mansfield games? No, I actually don't live in Mansfield anymore. It's where I'm originally from, and I live in Leeds, so it's a little bit more difficult to go to games, to be honest. But yeah, I went to the Stockport game a few weeks ago. That was great. Was gonna go to the Accrington game, and I wish I did now, but yeah, Denmark kind of cleaned me out. If you haven't seen that TikTok, yeah, go look at that. We went to FC Copenhagen. That was great. Really enjoyed that. That was good. A Wonyi is a very good like rogue little shout for this week as well. Burnley have been piss poor in the opening couple game weeks. The only problem with going with a Wonyi is the next two personally for me aren't great. Manchester City and then Brentford isn't an easy game. But then after that you got Crystal Palace and Luton. It just does seem a little bit 1 week punty unless you've got options that can cover him potentially for the City game. I know he's an asset that's not blanked since game week 35, so he is quite popular for some people. Leno, Adoji, Chilwell, Cash, Saka, Maddison, Sterling, and Buemo, Haaland, Awonyi. I'll take out Awonyi for Foden after. Why would you take out Awonyi for Foden? I'd keep Awonyi in there. Burnley at home's a great fixture. It's a great fixture for him, to be honest. Do keep the questions coming in, guys, for this Q&A stream. The Glizzy Gobbler has just entered the YouTube chat. If you know, you know. Personally, pal, I'm a clockwise kind of man. I know you're more anti-clockwise, but yeah, I'm kind of a conventionalist. I like a nice clockwise job. Son or Salah? I'd probably go Son, you know. I think Salah's been okay at the start of the year, but I just think Son's got that higher upside playing in that striker position as well. We don't know whether or not Salah has potentially lost penalties either, which could be a little bit of a concern. Opinions on Sunderland? Great documentary. That's it. Oh, you meant next game week. Right, that makes sense, Jensen. That makes sense, mate. That makes complete sense to do that then. My only concern with that is potentially Foden might see a little bit of minutes risk with Champions League. Here he is. Here he is. The co-host of the Wednesday streams. Gahey or Trent. Absolute joker. He's took his -4. He's took his -4 already. How's it going, mate? Can you get old Stag shirts anywhere? No, they're actually ridiculously hard to find. Like, I think the best place I've seen so far is like eBay. Classic football shirts barely have any. I think after this season we should potentially start to see more because like Castor just dump them in Sports Directs, and then like classic football shirts pick them up at like discounts and stuff. But with Surridge being kind of like a little bit unknown, I don't think they've like kind of been able to like bulk buy, which is where a lot of these kind of other kind of retailers get them from, like classic football shirts, which is a little bit disappointing. But it is what it is, isn't it? I'd probably say, yeah, classic football shirts or eBay's probably the best place, but then eBay's a little bit sketchy, isn't it? Walker or Estupinian? Walker's just signed that new deal, hasn't he? So I definitely think he's going to start. But I tweeted this out the other day that Brighton have a really good record at Manchester United. Let me find my tweet. United have failed to beat Brighton in the past 3 league game matches with an aggregate score of 1-7. 7 being Brighton, 1 Manchester United. So, yeah, I'd probably say like Estupinian easily could get some attacking returns. Like Brighton are really good against United as well, and it just seems like it's a bit of a dumpster fire over at United. I'd probably play Collins, mate. I don't think there's anyone that's kind of got that upside that's going to be worth the -4 if you're not playing the wild card, to be honest. So that would be my advice. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Any questions about your FPL teams ahead of tomorrow's deadline as well? Be great. Get them in. Yeah, we'll try and answer as many as we possibly can. We will be live, like I said, tomorrow at 9 o'clock for the proper FPL deadline when things do get a little bit more spicy in the chat, a little bit more mucky. You know, there's questions absolutely flying in, so probably now's the time to get them in if you want my honest opinion, because I can actually read and just concentrate a little bit on like both chats. So if you do have any questions about your team, do get them in. Should I start Gvardiol this week or not? Depends who your other defenders are. But yeah, I definitely think he's a player like I would be starting, to be honest. I think he's going to play the games. So I would be starting him for this game week. But yeah. What are people's transfer plans for this week? Odegaard or Jota? Oh, to take out or to bring in? Or play one of them. I'd probably play Odegaard just because I don't know whether or not Jota's going to play. Obviously, Núñez came off at halftime in the Uruguay game, but it doesn't look like there's been anything kind of serious mentioned about it. So yeah, it's one of them. But Klopp was whinging already today about players coming back late from international duties and stuff. So yeah, but we'll wait and see. Can I send you a photo of the shirt I'm about? See if you like it. Yeah, sure, mate. If you want to send me a picture of your shirt, that's great. Why not? Boo, boo, boo. A lot more chilled than a deadline stream. The deadline streams are just like absolute pure chaos. And Buemo or Jackson? Ooh. For this game week, I'd probably say Jackson. Like, Bournemouth away is definitely the better fixture, to be honest. My only concern is he is a donkey, and we have to remember that. But the amount of opportunities that he's getting, and you always see it when a player is so highly sold in the game, he just naturally returns the next week as well. I think he's one of the highest sold players this game week, which just seems really daft looking at their fixtures coming up. Bournemouth, then Villa, not great, but then Fulham and Burnley, who've both started the season exceptionally poor as well. So I definitely think he's going to return. Probably, I'm gonna put it out there. I reckon he's getting 3 returns within the next 4 games. Big claim, but if the donkey can pull it off, why not? Do I think Man City will concede against West Ham? Good question. They aren't at home, so I'm probably going to say yes. I think West Ham are an extremely well set up counter-attacking side and great from set pieces as well. You could easily see someone like Kurt Zouma just heading one in, to be honest. But yeah, it's one of them. I definitely think I could see them conceding. Prediction for tomorrow? I think we're going to win 2-1. 2-1 Mansfield versus Colchester for tomorrow. Oh, yes. Yeah. Training top from a few. I remember that one. It was extremely nice. They did make some good stuff, did Surridge, and then just some absolute dismal stuff. Like, why have we not got a badge? Why have we still not got a badge on our kits? It's one of them. Gvardiol or Estepinian? That's a tough one. That's a doozy. I'd probably go Gvardiol. Back City. I know I've just said Brighton have a really good record at United, but Estepinian, I don't know whether or not he was late coming back to international duty. It was mentioned today in De Zerbi's press conference, so might not even start the game. So I definitely think Gvardiol could be one of them. That's what football shirts are there for, to be honest, aren't they? Go the game or 5-a-side. It's pretty much, that's it. But yeah. Someone's asked in the YouTube chat, would you consider punting on Bernardo or Doku? No, I wouldn't. Pep Roulette is already a beast. You don't really want to play with kind of fire with extremely rotation risk players like that. Go and get different players. Start Ruben Diaz or Gvardiol? I'd probably go Ruben Diaz. He seems to be the one that Pep likes a little bit more, I feel. But Gvardiol is quite versatile in his positionings as well. But I'd probably go Diaz. Aaron Lewis to win the Puskas Award. Why not, mate? That goal was absolutely flipping phenomenal. It was just outrageous, wasn't it? Absolutely outrageous. Do keep your questions coming in, guys, as well. We'll stay live for about another 20 minutes. We will be streaming tomorrow as well. we're going to do a deadline stream, as always, live on TikTok and on YouTube. If you are watching on TikTok, the best thing that you could do is come over to the YouTube channel. You get to see all the cool graphics, a different angle of my face, all that good stuff. Yeah, and it's a little bit easier for me to read your questions. So if you do have any, then I can just answer them just that little bit easier. I brought Morris, dub or an L. First time for the channel, mate, because this is the home of Carlton Morris at the moment. He is going to potentially be my transfer for this week, Charlie. So I'm all for Carlton Morris. Good fixtures coming up. Penalty taker, 90-minute man, and then the double game week as well. It's all great. You've led me quite nicely onto what I was going to talk about in kind of the YouTube chat. I did outline earlier this week potential players that you could look for in double game week 7. Some players that you might want to bring in. Morris is my top priority, a player that I'm potentially going to be bringing in this week as well. So yeah, very happy to have him, to be honest, as a potential transfer this week. There hasn't been any kind of concerns about injuries within my team or any early team news, so I think I'm going to do Mbarma to Morris as my transfer tomorrow. Lyle Foster as well is another player that I've potentially outlined. He could be one that you might want to go for. Has started the season extremely bright. 2 goals for him. Good XG, 1.29. A little bit cheaper as well, but you don't get penalties. And the double isn't quite as nice for Burnley as it is for Luton, who play Everton, and Burnley, where Newcastle play Newcastle. Burnley play Newcastle and Luton. Should I start Alvarez or Jackson this week? I'd probably go Jackson. He has been like good in terms of his data. It's just a shame he's a little bit of a donkey. Just that little bit. Jota or Szoboszlai? Is neither an option? I don't really like either as them as an option. If you have to play one of them, maybe go Szoboszlai, because I guarantee he'll play, but I can't be guaranteeing Jota's minutes. I think Jota might start, just down to the fact of Klopp's kind of comments moaning about players coming back from international duty. But yeah. Yeah, that's what I'd do. Do keep your questions coming in, guys, on the TikTok and on the YouTube. Any questions that you do have pre-deadline, let me know. Thoughts on Højlund? I thought he looked extremely bright. Offered United a little bit of something that I think they've been lacking over the past few years, especially when Rashford plays up front. Like, there's just levels, isn't there? You can put Rashford back out on the left, so it's a lot better looking United team. I just think potentially maybe like it's a little bit too soon. I think he's definitely a player like a wait and see, rather than bringing him in this week. Like I said as well, United don't have a great record against Brighton, so I think he's one of those players that we might look to bring in on our wild cards maybe as a potential option if he starts to find his kind of feet in the Premier League. But at this moment in time, I wouldn't potentially be looking to bring him in. But yeah, there's my thoughts on Højlund. There they are. If you are enjoying either of the streams, be sure to like, comment, follow. We're trying to hit 10,000 followers on TikTok, and we are trying to hit 2,000 subs on YouTube. We're trying to do it by the end of this week, by the way. I think we're about 65 away. So if you're watching on TikTok, you know, you're like, oh, I like FPL content. I like this guy. He does good streams. He does great videos. You know, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, 2,000 subs by the end of the weekend. And we'll absolutely smash it. We will absolutely smash it because, you know, we're approaching it. What is the shirt in the background? That one's a Dortmund, and that one is Mansfield, who play in League 2, and that is who I support and where I'm originally from. So yeah, all good stuff. All good stuff. Mans is back in the YouTube chat as well. Another go of these kind of streams, our deadline streams, our preview streams, all these good streams. He has sold Gehi to a Doji. I really like that as a potential transfer there, Mans. I'm all for that, mate. Son or Rashford? Ooh, Rashford has looked better when he's on the left-hand side, and I think he'll be on the left again. Like I said, though, that Brighton game isn't great for Manchester United. But after that, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Sheffield United, it's an okay, good run-in. I think if I had, like, I already have Bruno, and I'm not looking to sell him because I think his data sets have been amazing. So I'm not going to look to sell Bruno. But But Son is tempting. Son is tempting. I'm just going to get the data up for you here. On the left-hand side is his kind of statistics from game week 1 to 3 when he was playing on the left. And then this is just from the game week 4 where he's just been playing up front. So I definitely think I'd probably go Son over Rashford. I think you need at least one attacker. If you have Maddison, I wouldn't be looking to go for the double up though. I've done a free hit. Son, Maddison, Solomon, Rashford, Salah, and Son captain. I like that. I like that. Solomon is a player that I've kind of been keeping a little bit of a low-key eye on at the moment. Mainly for draft FPL, if anyone plays that. I recommended him in one of my videos this week. So yeah, I like Solomon. Son captain as well is strong with your free hit. I'm rating it. I'm rating it. Ishmael, you ain't late, bro. You're here now. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. Which Liverpool assets aside from Salah? Yeah, a little bit difficult to say. Probably like Diaz is the only other one that I'm potentially considering at the moment. I don't know whether or not Nunes is going to be back from international duty or potentially playing this week, as he did leave the last Uruguay game, at half time. So besides Salah, like with Trent being injured as well at the moment, like it's very slim pickings indeed. Dennings, I played my free hit, and my front line is Jackson Jesus, Darwin Nunes. How have you got 4 forwards in there, Denning? You broke the game, pal. Oh, no Haaland. I couldn't see the little no. No Haaland and Son captain. Going without Haaland is ballsy there, especially with Darwin in there. Yeah, Haaland has a really good record against West Ham. We saw that last year. 3 goals. I think, how many points was it as well? He scored, let me get it up, 3 goals, 21 points and 2.47 expected goals involved during his 2 games against West Ham last season. So I definitely think I would be looking to personally keep Haaland if I was doing a free hit. Can you show your starting lineup? I'll show it tomorrow in my deadline stream. It'll be in my deadline stream that you can come see that. Matoma and Estepinian on the bench. Potentially, because Estepinian's potentially going to be late back from international duty. And then there was the weird quote that De Zerbi said about Ansu Fati's going to make his debut this week. Whether or not that's on the bench or whether or not that's going to be playing, like it could be completely rogue from him. Think Spurs will play with Son, Kulu, Solomon, but Brendan Johnson will defo find a way into that team. Maddison or Haaland captain? Haaland captain. Haaland captain. Stick with the pack early on. Like, I think Maddison's one of those players as well where I don't think he's got like a haul, not a haul in him, but not like Son, where I feel Son could easily get a hat-trick in one game, whereas I feel Maddison is one of those players that's going to kind of methodically kind of just tick along throughout the season, be a really nice hold for long periods of time. But yeah, I'd stick with Haaland. Brennan Johnson, I think, is just going to come off the bench for Kulusevski. I think he's a lot more of a kind of Postecoglou winger. So I definitely think at periods this season we are going to see him start over Kulusevski, to be honest. Yeah, I think Brendan Johnson will start on the bench, but I definitely think he'll make his way onto the pitch. I think in the last game it was around the 67th minute, Solomon and Kulusevski came off, so that'll be the time where like Perisic or Richarlison come on, or Brennan Johnson. Yeah, true. Do keep the questions coming in, guys. We're going to be live for about another 10 or so minutes, answering all your questions ahead of game week 5. Obviously, the deadline is tomorrow at 9. No, it's not at 9. It's at 11. It's at 11. We will be live on TikTok and on YouTube as well if you want to come over, chat to us about all your team, your selections. We always have a tweet out as well where you can kind of put in your team. And yeah, it's great. Darwin or Awonyi, I would be going Awonyi for this week. I'll be going Awonyi. Hasn't blanked since game week 35. Forest have looked extremely impressive as well, to be honest, over the opening couple game weeks. I've been really impressed with them. Obviously putting in some very strong performances against United and Arsenal as well. I'd probably go Alvarez over Darwin as well. The main concern is the Klopp comments about players coming back late from international duty, and the fact that he came off at half-time, so he potentially could be a little bit of a minutes risk, which is not what you want to see. It's not really what you want to see, to be honest. But yeah, keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, we will be live tomorrow for the deadline stream at 9 o'clock, so make sure you come along to that. We are also trying to hit 2,000 subs on the YouTube channel. We're ridiculously close. We're like 65, 66 away. If we could do that by the end of this weekend, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. If you're enjoying the content as well that you see on TikTok, make sure to follow. If we could hit 10k by the end of the year, that would be great. That would be great indeed, to be honest. But yeah, do keep your questions coming in, guys. Keep them flooding in. There will be a team reveal. We'll also be doing... we always put a pinned tweet out and people can kind of send in the teams and I can review them. We always do that on the deadline streams as well. What is my current rank? I'm 94k at the moment. 94k. So yeah, all good. Denin thinks Darwin will play 90 minutes. I definitely don't think Darwin will play 90 minutes. Even if he didn't have to kind of an international break, he's not playing 90 minutes. Not with the squad that they've got, like Jota and Gakpo. He ain't playing 90 minutes. Do you think Bowen will blank? I don't think he will, actually. I can see him getting a goal against City, to be honest. He's one of those players, and the way that West Ham will set up will be fully direct counter-attack. And he's just been in really good form as well. And he's one of my favourite players. I always want to see Jarrod Bowen do extremely well, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not doing that, pal. I'm not doing that. Nice. 100k. It's always what you want to see. Maybe you can break in there. Especially with some high-quality advice. Like, you know, you're going to be breaking in there. Do I think a 1-0 will score a hat-trick? No. I think he'll just get, like, 1 goal, if any, to be honest. That'll be a 1-U's way. If a 1-U does score, like, it will just be 1. Yeah. Do keep your questions coming in on the YouTube and the TikTok in this Q&A for Game Week 5. How's the international break been treating you as well? Because it's been rough. It's been rough without football, I'm not going to lie. It's been a little bit boring. But yeah, it is what it is. Opinions on Son? I really rate Son for this game week. I think you need a Spurs attacker going into this game week. If you already own Maddison, I wouldn't be looking to bring in Son. But if you don't have either, then I'd probably prioritise Son. I think he's just got that higher kind of skill set to potentially get hauls, especially with him playing kind of in that kind of striker position as well. Who's a good defender for around 5.6 million? Good question. Shall we go and have a look? Yeah, let's go and have a look for you. Give me a second. 5.6 is your top of your range. So, cool. Dink. Let's go and find you a good defender for 5.6. So, Doji, Cash. There's some top ones that I'd potentially be going for. Ped Porro as well from Spurs, another really good shout. Rico Henry from Brentford's always a solid shout. As some potential options that you could go for. There's a couple. Let's have a scan of a few more. I'd probably say Fabian Schär or Botman as well, with Newcastle's fixtures coming up looking quite good. I will have a look at your team tomorrow, Liam. I will have a look at your team tomorrow. You can't, you know, this isn't this stream. Tomorrow's that stream where I'll go and have a look at your team. I do appreciate you calling me Chief, though. I rate that. But I'll review it tomorrow. I will review anyone's team tomorrow. We'll put a tweet out. Matty is using his wildcard. If you want your wildcard reviewing tomorrow, Matty, on stream, do come over to Twitter at FPLTom_. I'll put out a tweet, and that is where I'll review it tomorrow, in tomorrow's stream. Onana or Turner? I'll probably play Onana because I don't think Turner's going to play. He's had a kid, but you could always put Turner in, and if he doesn't play, then Onana's going to come in, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think Turner's going to play. So I'd put Turner in to start with. But yeah, Kane has apparently scored. Buzzing. Buzzing. Just a bit of casual flirting going off in the YouTube chat. Up the Stags. Get in there. Yeah. We're going to win tomorrow against Colchester. Especially after what happened last season as well. We're going to win. We're going to win. We are going to win. We'll stream for a couple more minutes. Any questions ahead of Game Week 5? Do get them in, guys, in this little Q&A that we're doing today. Who do you think will be the highest scoring player between now and Game Week 8 outside of Haaland? Now and Game Week 8. Okay, who's got good fixtures? I think potentially, this is a rogue one here, Carlton Morris. The double game week in Game Week 7 is going to be brilliant. Fulham and Wolves in the build-up to that. He could easily be one of them that absolutely smashes it. Newcastle have Sheffield United and Burnley. Anthony Gordon's a player that I've been keeping my eye on from them. Other teams, potentially Nicholas Jackson. The fixtures are there for Chelsea. It's just whether or not the man wants to be a donkey. That's the big question. I'm not going tomorrow. I'm streaming instead because I'm cool and I'm edgy. You don't think Son's going to do well? Potentially not, but I know I know people have mentioned the fixtures with Son, but he is one of those players that can play extremely well when a team plays a high line. Arsenal and Liverpool haven't looked amazing as well in the opening couple game weeks. The defence just, it's not quite been there, has it, over the opening couple game weeks? So I definitely think there's room for Son to exploit against Arsenal and Liverpool, to be honest. Nah, mate, the Copenhagen shirt will be on tomorrow. It'll be on tomorrow, pal. In all its glory. We ain't returning that. We're never returning that. What is my standing currently? I'm 94k in the world at the moment, which is great. Yeah, I'm trying to go to county. It would be great if we could. Well, I could. I am planning to go back to Mansfield for that week, but the only issue is potentially getting tickets. Like, I'm not a season ticket holder. I'm hoping like one of my friends can sort me out and we can get one, but it is what it is. It's on telly if not, but I'm hoping I can go. Go on, Lee. What's your genuine question you need me to think about? What is it? What is this question that is so, like, it's just on your mind? Would you start Cash or Ben White? I'd probably start a Villa at home. If Villa are at home, I'd probably start Cash. Villa at home, so I'd probably start Cash. Palace have got a hefty lot of injuries as well at the moment. A lot of players out injured. With Gahey now falling to the kind of curse. So I'd probably go Matty Cash. Arsenal don't have a great record at Everton. Who will win the Prem first? Wrexham or Spurs? Spurs. Spurs are going to win it first. Fuck Wrexham. I honestly just, yeah, I don't like Wrexham. They have quite a few, well, they don't have quite a few. They have one ex-Mansfield player, Ollie Palmer, and he's just a dick. So yeah. Yeah, I'm sure of my answer. Yeah, I'm hoping I can just like grab a ticket late on, like someone's selling one, to be honest. But yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully so. I'll show you tomorrow. I'll show you tomorrow in the deadline stream. That's where I'll be unveiling my team and all that good jazz. So yeah, this is more just for you guys if you have any questions at the moment about your teams or any kind of situations if you want them answering. That's what this stream's about. It's all for you guys. It's all for you. I'm just that nice. As some of the deadline streams, like a lot of people ask me questions and I just can't quite get through them. So I thought we'd put together like a little stream where you guys can answer me questions. I can just talk to you like and spend a little bit more time with my answers. Because in the deadline stream, like, I don't think people realize this. I have two chats, so like the TikTok one and the YouTube one, and literally it'll be like, and you're like trying to keep up with what people are trying to say to you, trying to give you like honest feedback while like more questions are flying in. Whereas these, they're a little bit slower. So it's all great. Yeah, we always take good numbers to County away. Last time they were in the league, I was like a season ticket holder. So that was great because I always got tickets. I hate how they always like make you sit in your seat though. That's the only annoying thing about County last time I went, was they were like making you sit in your seat. So I went with my dad and my brother, and my dad didn't have a season ticket and I did. And like we were just like miles away from each other. Like, how does, just let us sit wherever we want. Come on, grow up. I honestly loved Ollie Hawkins. He was great, apart from one game. And if you know the game I'm talking about, it is the playoff final where we lost 3-0 to Port Vale and he was sent off. That was dismal. That was one of the worst days ever. But yeah. Sterling or Son? I think Sterling's got the better kind of next run of the next 3 fixtures, definitely. But Son playing in that striker position is extremely tasty. Extremely tasty. I'm not going to lie, it is. So I'm probably going to go Son for this week. The next 3, I'd probably say Sterling. But then back to Son with Luton and Fulham. Oh, nice. Pompey fan. I used to like them as a kid. I've never been to Portsmouth though. That is one of the grounds I do want to go tick off. It does look like it has a really good atmosphere. So hopefully we get promoted and maybe I'll go next year. Hopefully. Do I think Jesus will start? Yeah, I think he will. I think he's recovered from his knock that he picked up on international duty, where like there's the photos of him with like ice round his leg. He's recovered from that. So I won't worry about that one too much. Yeah. Stewart's gone for Maddison captain and he's absolutely crapping himself. Mate, going against Haaland is always risky. One of my friends, Liam, who is in the YouTube chat right now, we were out in Denmark last game week and he went against Haaland, went for Mbuemo. Didn't quite work out. Always going against Haaland is a scary prospect. If you get it right, though, you look like the bee's knees. If you get it wrong, oh boy. Oh boy, indeed. Evening, my friend. Evening. Welcome to the Q&A stream. A little bit late. We're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes. But yeah, if you do have any questions that you need answering, get them in. West Ham away like is a tough fixture. Like they are one of the better teams at soaking up fixtures as well. They're great from set pieces, especially with James Ward-Prowse there. David Moyes' sides historically have always been great with set pieces, but now they've got one of the best set piece takers in the world to add to that and deliver that quality. Is what it is. Could Salah be a captain? Nah, you're going against Gandhi. It's an early kickoff, and Liverpool don't have a great goal scoring record at Molineux either. So I'd probably go with Haaland. I wouldn't risk going for Salah, to be honest. Liam's putting Mbuemo over Haaland. Love that from you. Absolutely love that from you. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap things up in about a minute or so. So this is the final call for any questions. We will be live tomorrow from 9 o'clock. I thought we'd do just a little Q&A session with you guys. If you had any questions about your teams, get them in, because tomorrow is going to be absolutely chaos. Chaos in both chats as always. But yeah, I'll also be revealing my team. If you want to send me your team as well for review, I will be doing that on Twitter at FPLTom_. I'll put a pinned tweet out. Just go and leave your team there, as always. Yeah, we'll go and leave it there. Do I have any Spurs players? Yes, I have Adoji and Maddison, and I'm probably going to leave it at that. I'm not going to buy into Son. I just think if you've got Maddison, you don't need Son. Estepinian or Henry to start? I'd probably go Estepinian. I think he's got the higher upside. Thoughts on triple captain Areola? Nice. Nice. When are you getting your name changed, by the way, to Fabianski? When's that happening? When's that happening, mate? But yeah, doesn't look like we've got any kind of other questions that are coming in, guys. So I think we're going to leave it there for tonight. We will be back tomorrow for the deadline stream, 9 o'clock in the morning. up until around 11. So if you have any questions or want to see, you know, your team reviewed on stream as well, or have any kind of pressing questions, do get them in to the Twitter and the TikTok chat and the YouTube chat. And like I said, we are trying to hit 2,000 subs by the end of the weekend. We're like extremely close, so it'd be great if we could do that. But yeah, thanks for watching today's Q&A stream, guys. We will be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. I've just seen we've had one final question come in. I can't decide to start Mbuemo or Matoma. What do you think? I'd probably go Mbuemo, just around De Zerbi's comments about Ansu Fati definitely making his debut. He plays in the same position as Matoma. So when he says things like that, that's a little bit of a red flag for me for Matoma's potential minutes. So I would be looking at Mbuemo. You can see my team tomorrow, James, on this stream at 9 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, come back for that. Like I said, guys, any questions that you want answering over on Twitter as well, I will be answering them tonight and putting a pinned tweet out so you can, yeah, leave your team there for me tomorrow and we'll do all that good stuff. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 for the deadline stream. Thank you very much for everyone that has